Here we go. So, welcome everyone. Welcome to this seventh session in the ChangeMaker Summit. I hope you've been enjoying the session so far. Thank you for all the comments that are coming through. Really appreciate them. Any questions you have, by all means, fire them through even after the event. And for those of you watching in replay, remember that the chat box is available to you even if you are watching in replay mode. So we're going to be talking today about, and I'm just going to type it in here, we're going to be talking about these two words. And we've got some excellent people to guide you through this topic. And we're going to start, in terms of the presentation, we're going to start with someone called Malcolm Follis, who will introduce himself in a moment. But before then, he's going to be more than ably assisted by two tremendous people, David Horn and Susan Popula. So I'd just like to ask Susan first. Could you just introduce yourself, Susan?
Well, hello everyone. As Simon said, I'm Susan Popula. I come from an HR background with a key focus on transformation. So in line with today's subject, when we talk about vision and strategy, I help organizations bring that to life. But with transformation, not only do I think of where an organization is trying to go to, but I also think of the people, the diversity within the organization, and showing that everyone is included and fully engaged in the process. So that's me.
Excellent, thank you, Susan. Now, I'm not going to click on David's photo because he's struggling with the video, but we're getting perfect audio. So, David, would you like to just introduce yourself?
Yes, hello everybody. I'm David Horn, and I'm a surgeon by background, but for the last 15 years I've been working with trusts in the Transformation Forum and specifically helping improve their processes. So with regards to today, my input is really around the NHS and public sector, and what particularly vexes them at the moment is how to transform and deliver far greater output at the same budget.
Definitely. Excellent. Okay, thank you, David. And now over to Malcolm, who will introduce himself and get us started.
Thanks, Simon. Hi, everyone. It gives us a real pleasure to talk today about bringing vision and strategy to life. It has been a bit of a hobby horse of mine in organisations that I've worked with over the years. I've been in consultancy for getting on for 30 years now. And that role has allowed me to work around the world with different leadership teams in many different organizations, shapes and sizes, but mostly in the private sector, I have to say. Now, what we want to do in this webinar is share with you some stories, give you some tools and tactics to help you think about how you craft strategy in your organization and how you bring it to life and engage the people in the organization. I should start by saying this topic's quite difficult. Strategy is a word that has many different connotations and many different assumptions associated with it. Whenever I go into a new organization to do a piece of consultancy work, I often ask, can you tell us a little bit about your strategy? And I'm always amazed at what comes back in answer to that question. I've had everything from a single line statement through to an A4 folder with indexed market analysis, competitor analysis, tables of financial projections. So the word itself is difficult. So what we want to do in the webinar is talk a little bit about some definitions. What do we mean by strategy? What do we mean by vision? And then how do you think about crafting vision and strategy and bringing it to life in your organization? That's the primary purpose of the next 40 minutes or so.
Fantastic.
Now, if you stick around to the end.
Sorry, Mal. Jack, before you get cracking, I've got to stop you there. Just to remind everybody, hashtag ChangeMakers if you want to get in touch with us on social media, and you can put your questions there too, and we'll get back to you. And for those of you watching on the replay, Malcolm, Susan, and David will also answer any questions coming through after the event as well. So we've got quite a few on already and a few more still coming through. And just to let you know, we are, as I've been saying on some of the other webinars, we are live on the World Wide Web, and it comes with its own technical challenges occasionally. So if the screen goes black, don't worry, we're working furiously in the background to get straight back online. Okay, over to you, Malcolm.
Thanks, Simon. Okay, so as I was saying, that if you stick around till the end, we've got a little document to share with you that you can download that will help you focus on what are the key strategic issues in your organization. It's also a team tool that helps surface some of the challenges that you might have in your leadership team, if you have a leadership team, because there's often a difference of view as to what strategic intent should be in an organization, and this tool is designed to help surface those differences. And fundamentally, it's a conversational tool. It gets you to talk about strategy in a way that's future focused and helpful. So stick around till the end, you'll get a chance to download that. Okay, let's make a start. As I said, crafting strategy is hard. I remember when I was a 6 or 7 year old boy, I always had a pretty clear picture in my mind as to what I wanted to be when I grew up. I wanted to be a fighter pilot. It was exciting. It was all in the comics I was reading, and it was what my dream was, to be a fighter pilot. When I got to about 13 and 14, and I started to talk to different career advisors as to what levels I should be choosing, that type of thing, showing my age. They kind of said, look, if you want to be a pilot, you've got two choices. You can sign up to be a civil aviation pilot, British Airways, etc., companies like that are recruiting. You'd have to have a really good degree, or you could join the RAF, and they would train you to be a fighter pilot. I thought, okay, that sounds good. Then I realized to join the RAF to be a fighter pilot at the time was a 26-year commission. And for a 13, 14-year-old boy, that was an unimaginable period of time to sign up. So from the age of about 13 or 14, you know what? I wasn't really sure what I wanted to be when I grew up. Now, what's this story got to do with strategy? Well, I think the fundamental question that most organizations have to face when they're crafting strategy is, what do you want to be when you grow up? What type of organization are you? Where do you want to take it? And quite frankly, you're only limited by your imagination. However, there are other challenges you need to face. So if you look at some of the ways companies craft vision statements, what do they want to be when they grow up? Some of them are sadly lacking in anything that approaches inspiration or indeed imagination. They don't pass what I call the McDonald's test. And what I mean by that is, if you scrub out the name of the organization and replace it with McDonald's, and then you read the vision statement, if it still makes sense, then it hasn't really worked. What Simon's just shown on the slide there is an example of a real organization. It's thankfully changed now, but at the time, this was their vision statement. They said, we have a simple strategy to ensure our future success. We're going to deliver stakeholder value through a focus on sustainable, profitable growth. The strategy can be broken down into 4 areas that are all aligned to key performance indicators and other management tools which are used to measure success and our progress. That is never going to get anybody out of bed in the morning. In short, that's saying we're going to work hard to make money for someone else, and we're going to measure how well we do it. And it's just sad that a series of executives have spent time crafting that set of words. It's a complete and utter waste of time. Now, that's a bad example, and I'm sure there are many examples that are equally as bad and some that are really good. What I'd like to share with you is just a short video of a company who I think does this really well, and the company's called Honda. Honda have a vision statement that says, we are a company built on dreams. Simon, run the VT.
Yep, I will do. And for those of you watching online, the screen may go black for a few seconds, but hang on in there. It will come through to you. And then also when it finishes, there may be a slight pause before you see us. But what I'd like you to do, when you're back in the room with us, just type into the box, into the chat box, saying here, and we'll see you back here in a few moments. Okay.